Hello, friends.
Why, hello there.
Welcome to our channel. So we thought that we would do kind of a sit-down video where it's evening, if you can't tell, because our sweet little baby girl Annabella is down for the nap, or for the night, not for a nap. She doesn't really take naps, but she's down for the night, and this is my only time with my husband. It's like our only time together. So we decided that we'd sit down and film a video for you all. And this video is going to be our TTC journey, just our story with that. And if you don't know what TTC means, it means trying to conceive. And if you're just finding this video because of the title and you've never, watched one of our videos before, welcome. I am Alyssa. This is my husband, Richard. And we would love to have you subscribe if you haven't already. But if you don't know who we are, then keep watching.
Just wait till after the video to decide.
Exactly. But we've been married for 4 years, and we have one little beautiful baby girl. She's 6 months old.
Tiny baby.
And we want to talk to you tonight.
I might edit in a photo.
Oh, yes. Insert photo here. And she's beautiful. But we want to tell you guys the story of how she came to be. Well. Of course you know how she came to be, but it was a journey getting to have her. She is not our first baby. Pregnancy. She's our first baby here on earth. We do have one angel baby, as I like to call it, in heaven. Now, this is not our miscarriage story. We will link that down below. That is a whole other story. But we will tell you a little bit about it. We'll summarize this journey. So basically,
kind of linked to when we were trying to get pregnant.
Yes.
So that's part of the story.
Yes. So we decided when we got married, of course, that we were not going to try to have kids right away because
just give it some time.
Give it some time. We wanted to get to know each other because, believe it or not, when you get married, there's a lot about someone that you don't know that you find out. Right, babe?
Living with someone's very different than seeing them at your best and their best.
Yes. That's a whole nother video. Anyways.
Or how we met.
Yes.
Just kidding.
Or a whole nother. We should do a marriage video sometime.
Didn't we?
No, we never have.
Yes, we did one on our story.
Yeah, that was it. Anyway, so we decided we were not going to have kids right away, but we wanted to wait a couple of years. I think our mark was always 2 years that we were going to start trying. And as it got closer to that 2-year mark, first of all, we had to live with family the first year. Are you yawning already?
That's my second.
My goodness. Okay.
It's a tradition.
Side note, it's a tradition for him to yawn in the videos. And the reason I didn't know that was his second yawn, if you didn't realize this.
I was just going to say, but you were talking.
I'm totally blind, okay? I don't see. So if you're new to our channel.
But she can see this.
Stop! I'm totally blind. I was born that way.
She can tell if light is blocked.
Yes, I can see light. I have slight light perception, but
no shapes,
no shapes, colors. So my husband has full sight, but the reason I didn't know he was yawning is because I'm blind. And
I can still the shudder.
So yes, but he yawns through a lot of our videos because that's just a thing. So I'm sorry.
I don't know, Liz.
You're gonna make everybody need coffee when they watch this. Anyway.
Well, it's night.
Yes. At least for us. So back to the story, sorry.
Oh, yeah.
So basically we had to live with family for the first...
Not for the first year.
That's right, for part of the first year of our marriage.
The very end, we decided to reconsolidate. I was getting a different job and...
Because we were
some reasons, but we stayed there for only...
9 months. And we were really broke, you guys. That's... new married life. Okay, we were living on top ramen and mac and cheese and hot dogs. That's bean burritos. Mm-hmm. So that's why we didn't want to have babies right away too. But when we hit the 2-year mark, by the time we hit it, we had just moved right before that to a little studio. We finally could afford a little studio sort of apartment, I guess you could say. Not really.
Which one is that?
The guest house.
Studio.
Yeah, it was. They called it a 1-bedroom studio. It actually was. It had a door.
Converted garage.
Basically, but we won't, expand on that. But basically, we had lived in a little tiny place, but we were doing better financially, and we thought, well,
I got another.
He had another new job,
which is the one I'm still at.
Yes, and our 2-year mark was coming up, and we had the discussion: should we try for kids? It's almost 2 years, like we said. Should we do it? And a lot of my friends have told me, and a lot of the research that I had done, that it takes 6 months to a year for the average woman to get pregnant. So I thought, well, babe, I know we still have some work to do financially, but let's just try. I mean, it can't hurt anything. We both agreed, like, yeah, let's just try because, you know, we're not going to get pregnant for probably at least 6 months anyway, and by that time we'll be better off and we'll live in a better place. And so, yeah, anyway.
That is what is known as tempting fate or jinxing it.
Anyway, we tried. Literally on our 2-year anniversary, we decided we were going to try.
We tried one time.
Yes, one time, folks. That's our grandfather clock, by the way, reminding us what time it is and how long this video is going to be. Anyways, so we tried one time.
And it's 2 minutes off.
Wow. After one try, you guys, that next cycle, I didn't have a period. I know that's like TMI, sorry people, but if you're on a TTC video, then you're probably used to hearing that.
We said that during our pregnancy video updates. TMI is literally to be assumed. Yes. So anyway.
So I did not have a cycle. And right as I realized that, I started having this little bit of cramping, and I thought, this is weird, cramping and no cycle? Babe, go get a pregnancy test. I just had this feeling. And I was already like a week late, I think, or something. It was weird. Like, yeah, like maybe 2 weeks late. Because I was always told, like, wait 2 weeks after your cycle should have come to test. And so I think it was like a week and a half or something. So he went and got a pregnancy test, and I was like, this is ridiculous. This can't be real. And sure enough, we were pregnant. But...
So fast forward a couple months.
At our 8-week ultrasound, like I said, there's a whole story about this, so we won't go into it. But we found out that our sweet baby had gone to heaven. So
bad thing.
That was sad, and it was hard, and we talk all about that in our other video that we'll link below. But all that to say, we decided...
And, sorry to butt in.
Butt in.
The manner of how it went down, the doctor was saying, you'll have to wait a while to try again.
Yeah, it was
There's going to be this weird... He said it might be a molar pregnancy, and it might not have... Her body might not have considered it ended. So if we get pregnant again, it could think that they're in the second trimester. Like, it could freak out.
Well, what a molar pregnancy is, if you don't know, is like where your placenta keeps growing, but your baby doesn't.
So it does not get the signal like, hey, sorry, it ended.
Yeah.
So your body will just go full term with nothing.
My body literally thought I was still pregnant, even though I wasn't.
Because we licked in it.
And if you guys will hear more in the story, but if we hadn't stopped things, my body didn't want to let go of that sweet baby. So let's just put it that way. But anyway, so all of that to say,
so we had to wait a little bit.
And when we were pregnant the first time we tried and didn't expect it, we're like, whoa! We decided at that point, like, we really wanted a baby. Like, we fell in love with the idea, obviously, because we had a baby in there. And we ended up right before oh my goodness, stop it. Right before we lost that sweet baby, we actually ended up moving to a 2-bedroom apartment because we thought, oh my goodness, we're going to have a baby. Like, let's go quick. So we found a place as quick as we could. And then, which was, very fast. But then we lost that sweet baby. And then we, like Richard said, had to wait. I think I had to wait like 2 cycles in order to try again.
And it took a while.
First, I had to wait for my cycle to come back because it takes a while to come back after a pregnancy. Then after it came back, I had to wait 2 months. So
to be safe.
Yeah, so we waited a while. And those were some hard months because I was feeling, grieving the fact that I would have been pregnant and I would have been this far along. And it was very hard. And, loss is always very, very tricky and difficult. So we were very much mourning that a lot of that time. Well, I was. He was too, but, I was very much mourning. But when we finally could try again, I had it in my mind, since it happened the first time, it happened quickly, that it would happen that way again. And it didn't. We tried for 9 months, 9 or 10 months, I believe. Was it 9 or 10?
Yeah. It was
around that.
Above 9.
I think it was 10, but I don't want to do math right now. But it was a long time, a little tiny bit under a year.
And we were doing all the ovulation tests and the
we were
everything.
Trying, you guys. Like, the first couple times we didn't do any ovulation tests. We just tried, and we just, like, not to be weird, but we just kind of tried every single day for like 2 weeks. And to be honest, like, it became hard. Like, it's almost like when you're trying that hard to get pregnant, it just makes it sort of a drag, if you know what I mean. Like, not that, I don't know. What am I trying to say, babe?
Well,
say it better. Because it's sounding wrong when
it becomes a necessity and not a part of a marriage.
Yes.
If that
Yes.
makes sense.
So that's kind of what it became the first couple months of us trying. And then every time I get my cycle or we'd have a negative pregnancy test, I would be just like so discouraged and just crying my heart out and just feeling like it would never happen. And why isn't it happening like it did last time, you know? Hey. But why isn't it happening like it did last time? And,
Yep.
you know, and I would just feel so confused and, oh, you guys, if I only could explain it. And if you have been trying to conceive or you've been on this journey, you know exactly what we're talking about right now. Especially,
I feel like you felt like a lot of really complex things, which I was like, it's false. You're not inadequate. That your body's not good enough. Like,
yeah,
you know, because women
Yeah.
take it seriously if they cannot conceive. So
well, it's hard, especially when
there's so many factors. It's
Yes.
not a fault.
it's not. But it felt because I felt like the miscarriage was my fault, and that's a whole nother subject because that's normal for women to feel that way. And so then I'm like, well, what's wrong with me that I'm not getting pregnant? And then I just would miss my baby every month. And so this went on for months. And finally, like, I kept thinking, oh, maybe I'll have. My whole goal was I wanted to be pregnant with my rainbow baby before my due date would have been with my angel baby. And the reason is because, you guys, I was dreading that day.
Because when we first heard the due date, we're like, that's awesome. Boop. And we like looked at that date and we were so excited for that date. And then once we found out that the first pregnancy was
A loss.
That date soured.
It haunted everything.
It flipped.
Yeah.
And so as we were approaching it, the loss took time by itself. So we were like dreading everything about everything, and
yeah, and
we were
I thought maybe if we were pregnant before the dreaded date, which was September 18th of 2017. Right? Was it 2017? Yes, 2017. Wow. Time flies, man. But that was when the baby was supposed to be born. That was the due date of our first baby. And, you know, I thought that if I was pregnant before that it would sort of mask the pain and that I could just move on and not think about it. Well, the Lord was teaching me a lesson because that's not that easy. That's not what He wanted me to feel. That's not real. We shouldn't have to mask our pain. You know, there's nothing that could take away the pain of a loss, except for Jesus. Obviously, He can help us through it, but it was a hard process, and I and Richard both had to learn how to accept it. And it took me a lot longer than it took him, but to accept my reality, that was a reality, and it was a sad reality. And when September 18th hit and I wasn't pregnant, it was very hard. And I remember dreading that day for months and months and months, and I kept saying, it's going to be the worst day ever, it's going to be the worst day of my life. And in many ways it was. But when it came close to that day, we decided to make it a beautiful day, to make it a memorable day for this sweet baby that we lost, that went to heaven. So what we did was, I never talked about this before, and we can always share more about this in another video, but because there's a lot to the story, but we literally drove to a beautiful area, like up in the, like, it was like a lake, kind
There's
of.
a lake, and we went on the hills above a lake.
Yeah, and we wrote a little note to our sweet baby. We rolled up the note. We still don't have it to this day because we rolled it up, tied some balloons to it. We actually got 6 pink and 6 blue because we weren't sure if it was a boy or girl. And the Lord knows, but we didn't know. So we held the note, we tied it to the balloon, and we released it. Or the balloons, I should say. We released it into the air. And we watched it go away. And I can tell you guys right now that was such a symbolic moment for me.
To hold it all the way outstretched and kind of let the wind tug it out of her hand.
Yes, and it was kind of like letting go of that sorrow.
Or of that expectation.
Of that expectation, of that dream that I had, of that sweet baby. Giving that baby to the Lord. And in that note, I don't remember all that I said because it was just such an emotion-filled note. And that person who finds it one day and reads it, I don't know if anyone does. Oh, wow. But what I did say is, Lord, I'm surrendering this baby to you. Or actually I told the baby that I'm surrendering you to the Lord, and that's exactly what we did.
We will meet that
someday. We'll meet that sweet little one someday, and you know what? That was a hard moment, but we did it. And after that, I can tell you guys, every month we tried after that was still heart-wrenching every time I got a negative pregnancy test, because you guys, we didn't get pregnant that month, or the month after, or the month after. we tried for like a few more months after that and still got negative pregnancy tests. Cycles would start. I remember one month, it was actually right before September. I remember that I had a 38-day cycle. And that is not like me, you guys. I think it was my hormones kind of recovering or whatever, but that was not like me. It was 38 days and still negative pregnancy tests, and it was just horrible. So it was just it was a hard journey, but you guys, I learned a lot in those months, and every month that I didn't get pregnant, it was hard. I will admit, I cried, I mourned, but I kept saying, Lord, thy will be done. Thy will be done. And it was as hard as it was to say that, I did. And I'll never forget this one night. It was in January, and it was right after Christmas, right after New Year's. And my cycle was going to start in a couple of days after. And I remember laying in bed and just praying to the Lord, because I knew that in the morning I wanted to take a pregnancy test, and I knew it was going to be negative. I was pretty sure it was going to be negative, but it had become sort of a mind thing with me where I wanted to take a test so that I knew it was negative, so that I could expect my cycle and not be surprised when it came. If you have been trying to conceive, you know exactly what I mean. It's just a thing where you want to get it out of the way, and you want to just take the test, know it's negative, and move on. So I went to bed, I prayed, and I remember the Lord telling me in my heart, just softly saying, reminding me that he had promised Abraham in the book of Genesis and Sarah that they were going to have a child. They were going to be the father and mother of many nations. And Abraham believed that promise, even though it didn't come to fruition for many, many years. And so I just felt sort of this feeling in my heart, like, even if I do get a negative test in the morning, which I was pretty sure I was going to, that it was going to be okay, that the Lord was going to fulfill his promise, that we are going to have our rainbow baby. I felt that so much in my spirit, even if it's not in our timing, or even if it doesn't come to fruition right now. So I went to bed trusting and surrendering and believing the Lord's will was going to be done, and that he was going to make good on his promise, and I wouldn't have to worry about the timing. Well, the next morning we woke up, babe, and what did we do?
We're going to take a pregnancy test.
Took a test. And what happened after that?
You're very funny when you're jokingly expecting something, and then you suddenly suspect, because the Lord always clues you in on stuff, that it's the other thing, and I'm like, I see 2 lines. You're like, what? Wait, are you sure? I'm like,
I didn't.
Yes.
You should go watch we should link
or
this one
maybe
down
it
below
was
too.
a digital that time. I don't remember.
It was the clear blue first response line test. You know what? We should link our announcement video down below too, because
we're linking 3 movies.
Yeah, 2. But it was funny, you guys. I didn't believe it. It was a positive test. I didn't believe it. I hadn't even got my cycle yet. I still had 2 more days. I didn't believe it. So all that to say, and this video is getting long, but that's okay, because we just want you guys to know that we got our rainbow baby. That was Annabella. And guess what? This is even funnier. Her due date was also September 18th of the very next year. And isn't that sweet?
It's kind of hard to get the same exact due date.
Yeah. Isn't the
It's
Lord...
kind of impossible, actually.
Like, seriously, isn't the Lord so sweet? Isn't he so gracious?
To redeem a day like that.
To redeem that day that was going to be the worst day of my life? Like, I could cry. It's just so beautiful. And so that's how it happened. We had quite a journey of trying to conceive our little rainbow baby. But the Lord blessed us. The Lord surpassed our wildest dreams. And it was not easy, because many roads in this life are not easy. And a lot of good things that happen, or blessings that we get, they're not always, surrounded by butterflies and rainbows. Like, it's just not, well, she is a rainbow, but it's just not like that. It's, it's not always easy, babe. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, what am I trying to say? You always read my mind.
You can kind of expect that there will be tragedy.
Yes.
And in our first year of marriage, some stuff was kind of hard. Then we lived with family. So, like, you go through your trials.
Yes.
And then you're like, all right, things are looking up. Then the worst trial of our lives. And you kind of go, I don't know. Should I expect something good? And then when that comes, the news comes, it's just brings you back to life. I don't
It's
know.
beautiful. It's like the storm. I remember during the miscarriage, I just felt like our life was a big storm. You know, like the thunder and the rain and just the hail beating down. And then there's just like this little bit of sunlight or this little rainbow that peers through. And that's what Annabella is. And that's what the Lord used her as to us in our life. And so we're so grateful. She's 6 months old now, and every day I still get emotional thinking about the fact that we get to hold her in our arms. And you know what? It's such a blessing, huh, babe? We are so blessed. So we wanted to share that story with you just to give you hope that, you know, if you're going through, you know, a loss or anything, you get to hear our clock. I know, this is such a long video, but you know, you guys, it's worth it. And we wanted to do this video. We wanted to let you guys know what we've been through because we also wanted to let you guys know that there is light at the end of the tunnel. And I know it may not feel like it, you know, when the storm is raging and everything's just, you've experienced a loss and you feel like you just can't seem to move on. You can't seem to get past it. I know that feeling. I've been there. But there is a light at the end of the tunnel. There is hope. And the Lord is with you and He will see you through. And your story may not look like ours. It may not end like ours. But you know what? The Lord is still with you just like He's with us in the same way. So thank you for watching. Sorry for all the clock bells. You know, this family, if you don't know us, we love clocks. Well, I love clocks, and my sweet husband lets me have them all over the house. So our house is very noisy every 15 minutes. But we just appreciate you guys taking the long time out of your evening or your day, whatever it is for you, to watch this video and to hear our story and to just be with us in this. And we love you all. And like I said before, if you haven't subscribed, please do. We'd love to get to know you guys, and we'd love to bring you on more of our journey as parents, and just how we're...
Now with a 6-month-old baby, there's more journeying to happen.
Yes. 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 So if you're trying to conceive, keep your head up. The Lord is with you. He hears your cries. He knows your desires. And if you've experienced...
But the thing we noticed was that time of making it a mechanical, just trying to get pregnant, just follow the test, do this, keep every schedule.
Yeah.
It's kind of numbing because you think by you doing more, it's more likely.
Yeah.
Well, I think the Lord has more to do with it than just doing all the things you possibly can. Because once we went, okay, it's His timing, and relaxed away from it, it was that month that we did conceive.
Yep. Exactly. As soon as we surrendered, as soon as I stopped taking ovulation tests, like I had taken one every month except for that month. Well,
oh, you were going to talk about that one.
Yeah, well, we'll say that for another video. There's more to the story there's this video so long already that just stay tuned because there's a lot more that the Lord did in these months that I want to share with you, that we want to share with you. But I will say that I did take ovulation tests for like 6 months in a row, and this was the 1 month I decided not to. So Richard's point is we surrendered, we gave it up, and we didn't, think about it or expect it, and the Lord did a miracle. So keep your head up, the Lord's with you. And if you've struggled with a miscarriage, if you've been through loss, we so feel you. And please reach out to us if you need prayer, if you need someone to talk to. You can email us, you can message us, you can comment down below. We love you guys, and we will see you in the next video. Bye.
Bye-bye.